Hey, we're back. Here I am. This one's gonna be a little longer, so I'm not gonna waste a bunch of time joking around and get right to it. But first, I wanted to share one other tip that I have actually just decided is gonna work well for me this weekend, this morning in fact. So in my coffee that I showed off earlier, and in my Banff cup, because it's the best cup on the planet, and if you're outdoorsy and you haven't hiked the Canadian Rockies, you gotta. Banff National Park, it's the perfect out and back for 52 dozen hikes up there. Anyway, moving on. I use coconut milk, the full fat canned coconut milk, this, in my coffee. From Earth Fare. It's their brand. It's $1.99 a can. If you buy it by the case, which I just did today, you get a 10% case discount. And right now, all of the Earth Fare brand organic items are an additional 20% off. So I've got a $24 case of coconut milk for $17. Woo! Anyway, moving on. I have been just working out of the can, putting the lid on it after I opened it up, and blending my coffee with an immersion blender once I put it in there, because everybody knows coconut milk, you know, it emulsifies and it'll separate and blah, blah, blah. So this morning, had this bright idea, pulled out this container that's been in my cabinet for ages, poured in 2 cans, and then I ran the immersion blender through this. So now it's nice and blended and smooth, and I literally, all I have to do is shake it up, pour it in like coffee creamer, excuse me, and it saves a bunch of time, plus you don't need to blend each individual cup of coffee. So tip on good coffee creamer. That and some stevia, perfect coffee each time. Okay, getting to the chicken. So if you played with this recipe, you'll know that your breading, it's a shake and bake recipe. It is not shake and bake of our childhood because it doesn't get crispy on the outside. What you do get from that recipe is color, and that comes from the paprika. Now, if you are anti-nightshade, lectin-free, that sort of thing, I am right now, then paprika is not such a good thing. So what I did was I tossed the paprika. In doing so, I gave up, you know, the finished brown color of the chicken. Whatever, it's still done. And so I just use white pepper, which I buy in bulk, white pepper, instead of the black pepper, and I use half again as much. So it calls for a teaspoon of black pepper. I use 1.5 teaspoons of the white pepper, and it makes up for the little kick that the paprika lends to the recipe. So I keep a baggie with the mix because you never know when you're gonna have to make more chicken at the last minute. And I don't actually do the shake and bake. I did the first time or two, but it breads the entire piece of chicken. That's a lot of almond. I'm kind of not, I get a lot of fat in other places, so I don't need all of the almond substance in my diet. So what I do now is I make the breading in a smaller bag, and you'll see I just kind of spread it around instead of shaking in there. You can do the shake and bake if that's your jam, but it's not mine. So half a cup of the almond meal, almond flour, and get the brown, the unblanched. That also helps with your color. You can use the blanched almond flour, you're just not gonna have color because this chicken is pretty juicy. You're not really roasting it for color. So just understand you're not gonna have that. So then you need a teaspoon of black pepper and a teaspoon, oh shoot, I just messed that up, didn't I? I put black pepper in there, that's okay. I'll just do a half a teaspoon of the white pepper. Totally screwed that up. I moved my salt instead of my pepper. And then you also need a teaspoon of the salt. And here we go again, back to the big hole in the jar, the Celtic sea salt. And then just shake it up really good. I guess black pepper will give it a little color, but the white pepper has a little kick to it that black pepper doesn't, and I like that. So anyway, whatever. Pepper is pepper, right? Let me get these out of the way so I don't knock them over, because I do that. See, just, So what I do, and this is chicken that I cleaned and cut last weekend. So just clean your chicken however you want. Sherry says skin is good. I still have an aversion to skin, but if that's your thing, knock yourself out. This recipe calls for a glass dish. Do not change that. It makes a difference in how your chicken cooks. So I take a little bit of olive oil and coat the bottom of the pan. Just brush it on there. Just enough to, you know, non-stick it. Although these are non-stick pans, nothing sticks to them, like nothing. And then I will take some of this mixture and put it on the bottom of the pan. Just kind of spread it out, just so that the bottom of your chicken gets a little bit of seasoning and flavor also. And again, if you watched my other video, I'm something of a neuron. Like, my stuff's gotta be even. You know what I'm saying? Just gotta be even. So, I'll get the little corners that don't have much on there. Okay, so there's that. And take your chicken, spread it out in the pan. And this is a mix of thighs and breasts, because you gotta have that good chicken fat. Plus I love thighs, they're just so tender and juicy. Now this is a chicken from Earth Fare. The thighs are actually on sale right now for, what, Sherry? Like $1.99 a pound? Something stupid like that. The breasts are typically right at $3 a pound for, you know, one of those long trays, which will run you, yeah, close to $10. Today I saw in BJ's, if you're a member of BJ's, I saw Purdue chicken breasts for like $2.89 a pound, regular price. Individually, you know, they're individually wrapped. They're boneless, skinless. There's like 2 to a pack. But there's a bunch of packs in the tray. So a whole tray that would probably last you easy 2 weeks, maybe more, for under $20. And then the same with thighs. They were like $1.99 or, you know, whatever the sale price was at Earth Fare. And they're antibiotic free, grass fed, blah, 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 all that stuff. But I haven't tried them yet. When I do, I'll let you know, because I've been afraid a little bit to stray from the Earth Fare chicken, because it is so good and it bakes perfectly. Like, this is never dried out. So one of the tips, when I cook meats, when I meal prep meats, I always cook them just slightly underdone, because that leaves you room to microwave reheat without coming up dry. So, good thing to remember, undercook just a little bit. So for chicken, done is about 155-ish on the internal temp. I go to 137, 140 and pull it. If I'm having it that night for dinner, then I'll just take that one piece and go ahead and put it in the microwave for, you know, a minute and a half and finish cooking it. So, because I eat a lot of chicken because I don't eat beef. I'm allergic to cow. So I eat a lot of chicken and shrimp and bison burgers every now and then. But this is the bulk of my meat right here. So I do not want it, I don't want it overdone. Okay, so then I just do the same thing, but heavier on top. If you just get you can get your sprinkler going. And I keep wanting to find something like a sprinkler that this will go through the holes on. I have no idea yet. Maybe like a Parmesan bottle or something from an Italian restaurant. But just cover it, as you know, to your satisfaction. I like not all of the breading of the shake and bake method, but a good bit of seasoning on top, because again, nobody likes dull, bland chicken, right? So I'm gonna put a lot of this on top. Cover it really good. What is wrong with you? Get all the corners. And then when it bakes, you don't have all of that mixture. And it's gonna come up so juicy. And again, follow the recipe on the temperature. It's 375, convection if you have it, because that gives you a more even bake. And there, it's ready to go in the oven, see? Without having all of the, and I've still got this much left. And so I just seal it up, roll it up and stick it up in the spice cabinet, and boom, I have some. If I have to cook something middle of the week for dinner that we want to coat with that mixture, I've got it ready to go. And that is all. So 375 for this kind of dish and this much chicken, and this is probably, I meant to weigh it before I started. It's probably 3 pounds. I don't know, breasts and thighs all together. I will cook this for no more than like 24 minutes because that's gonna put it at just the right temperature to allow for reheating. But use your meat thermometer, test it, and then pull it immediately because it's gonna continue to cook a little bit after you take it out of the oven. Just remember that. That pretty much goes for all meats. And so try it and hope this helps. Thanks, have a good day.